Hey everyone. So have you ever felt like you've got the grammar down, your vocabulary is pretty good, but your English just doesn't sound right? Well, today we're going to unlock the secret to getting past that textbook English and really starting to sound natural and fluent. Okay, let's dive into this. First up, we need to talk about a hurdle that almost every English learner faces, even the really advanced ones. I call it the unnatural English problem.
You know that feeling, right? It's so frustrating. You say something and you know every word is correct, the grammar is spot on, but you just have this sense that it's not quite what a native speaker would say. It feels a little clunky. Let's look at a perfect example of what I mean. So for instance, you might say, I did a few mistakes. Now, is anyone going to misunderstand you? Nope, they'll get it. Is it a huge grammatical error? Not really. But here's the thing. A fluent English speaker would almost always, 100% of the time, say, I made a few mistakes. That tiny little switch from did to made is the exact difference between sounding correct and sounding natural. And that is what we're tackling today.
So how do we bridge that gap? Well, the answer is this simple but really powerful idea called collocations. And trust me, this isn't some boring grammar rule. This is the secret weapon to sounding way more fluent. Basically, all a collocation is a pair or a group of words that are just old friends. You know, they just love to hang out together. Think of them like shortcuts that native speakers use all the time without even realizing it. And when you start using these natural word partnerships, your English stops sounding like it's built one brick at a time and starts to just flow. And they are absolutely everywhere. You don't do a party, right? You have a party. It's not strong snow, it's heavy snow. You feel bitterly disappointed, not, sadly disappointed. You take up a profession and you take an exam. Seriously, once you start looking for these, you're going to see them all over the place.
Now you might be thinking, okay, wait a minute, how is this different from a compound word or an idiom? And that's a great question. It's really easy to get them mixed up, so let's clear that up real quick because it's super helpful to know the difference.
Now what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks it all down. A collocation, like heavy snow, is just a natural team-up where the meaning is clear. A compound, like car park or teapot, is when words fuse together to make a totally new thing. And then you've got idioms, like pull somebody's leg, where you just can't guess the meaning from the words alone. For sounding fluent, those collocations, they're your new best friend. So you get what they are, you see why they're so important. The big question, of course, is how in the world do you learn them without just memorizing endless, boring lists? Well, let's build your toolkit. You're going to love this because it's actually incredibly simple. Just 2 steps. First, get a notebook just for this. When you hear or read a cool new collocation, don't just write down one word. Write down the whole phrase. Second, use a good learner's dictionary. And when I say good, I mean one that's designed to help you with this exact thing. In fact, the source material we're using for this explainer specifically recommends a couple of dictionaries. Why? Because they don't just give you a definition, they give you tons of example sentences, and they often have these little boxes that highlight the most common word partners. They pretty much do all the hard work for you. All right, enough theory. Talk is cheap, right? Let's put this into practice and see if you can spot some of these collocations out in the wild. Okay, I'm going to read a short little text. As I'm reading, just listen. Don't worry so much about the meaning. Just listen for those word combinations that feel smooth, the ones that just sound right together. Ready? Here we go. When I left university, I made a decision to take up a profession in which I could be creative. I had a rather heavy cold, so they didn't sound good. So, did you catch them? The reason that little story flows so nicely is because of these phrases. He didn't do a decision, he made a decision. He didn't start a profession, he decided to take up a profession. And he didn't have a strong cold, he had a heavy cold. So the crucial point is, these pairings make all the difference in the world. Look, if you only take one single thing away from our chat today, please let it be this. Learning grammar will get you to correct English. That's great, but actively noticing and using collocations, that is the bridge that takes you all the way over to natural-sounding, truly fluent English. It is an absolute game changer.
So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge, a mission, if you will. As you go about the rest of your day, listening to music, watching a TV show, reading an article, I want you to become a collocation hunter. Just pay attention to those word friends that pop up everywhere. What collocations will you notice today? Happy hunting!